All right, shalom, shalom. And I want to start by giving fair use disclaimer. It's your brother Wabram. You're back with another lesson, Lord willing to be edifying. I want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Wahab, Rakakwadash, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, bishops, of great millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 men of the Lord you see on the highways and byways. Prophesying in the name and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, also in the correct doctrine. I want to give a shalom to the 1/3 men, women, and children that will escape the judgment of Yahweh Shem Yahushua by their faith. We got another lesson I want to bring out through the Spirit of the Lord. As tensions continue to rise in the Middle East, the Straits of Hormuz being closed, gas not being shipped to these major nations, but it's been said that DT and the small hats are ramping up to hit them with a tactical boom, and can't say it ain't gonna happen. Can't say it will happen. But a lot of these, figureheads are people that kind of have insight with the elite and different government agencies. Believe that something like this is going to happen. Like I said, what I'm saying, we can't say for sure, can't say for a fact, but it's good to bring this to the attention of the hopeful elect, so we can kind of see what's going on behind the scenes of the wicked, man. Because everything is to fulfill prophecy. They're not doing anything the Lord don't want them to do. But the point is, we have to see what the wicked is doing on the left-hand side. So I'm going to get into these videos, hit a couple scriptures, and Lord willing to be edifying.
The plan is to provoke Iran or China to retaliate. And our guy, our source, who is a military man, is privately as convinced as he can be, although this has never been made public and this is not publicly known, that Iran does have nuclear weapons. He believes that they have been provided by China behind the scenes. And all of this is intended because it's all right with these controlling forces that Iran has nuclear weapons, because they want them to be used. The plan is for either Iran or for China to retaliate after Iran is struck with a nuclear weapon. At that point, there will be a limited nuclear exchange in the Middle East, followed by a ceasefire. He heard this being planned in this meeting. This is being choreographed. It's like the script for a movie. This is exactly what's intended to happen. The idea is that as the world looks upon this with horror, then they will demand from their governments that there are heavy controls over travel, over communication, over people who meet, over people who protest in the streets. They want to make sure that they don't have crazy bombers on airplanes, crazy bombers in the shopping malls. They want to make sure, and because people will be driven into fear by this, they'll request and demand and insist on heavy controls from their governments, which will be justified. And this is where you're going to kind of get the martial law situation in all the Western countries. It's intended as a justification. All of this is just the start of something.
It is the start of the MOTB, which they might be trying to bring this out, man, where it be a limited attack, not the main destruction that's really going to come. Well, basically, Esau is controlling this on the left-hand side, so they have an agenda that it'll be a limited attack, that they can bring in a ceasefire, but it's going to fall out of Esau's hand, man. Whatever he has planned to do, this limited attack, limited strike, or whatever, the joystick gonna fall out of his hand. So just to bring it to the attention, bring it to the attention of the hopeful elect, that they might do a limited attack that cause the nations to be in fear into bringing this MOTB. Because they're either going to bring the MOTB with the sickness of plague, or with this limited attack, which that will cause a lot of these people to be put to death. And it might even happen here in Babylon the Great, where it be a limited, a limited attack. that will cause the people to be in fear into bringing their system, which that will bring in martial law and all these other things. But Esau is doing something on the left hand side that we have to pay attention to. Just like right here, it says breaking the withdrawal of U.S. forces from bases in the Arabian Gulf. How to see? It's like how do you feel? Now it doesn't make any sense for them to move, and this might just be a staging event where they have the stage set for the truth to be out the way, and then for them to do this exchange, because they've moved these different bombers in that area, which he's going to say. Let me bring that out.
I'm not making this video to scare you. I'm making this video because you have a right to know. The U.S. military has just moved an E-6B Mercury plane over to the Middle East. What is an E-6B Mercury plane? It is the actual plane that is to send the signal to nuclear submarines whether or not to launch a nuke. We just sent our nuclear command and control over to the Middle East to make sure we have the ability to launch a nuke within a couple of minutes. Guys, this is a defining point, and I don't care what you have to say. If it's a tactical threat, it's fucking terrifying. This is not the world I want my kids growing up in. It's not. It's not. Because we have a narcissist in the White House who wants to play with all the buttons and move chess pieces around on a war board as if it's a game of chess. My name's Kyle Galkin. I'm running for Congress in the 2nd District of Connecticut because I believe in accountability. And listen, as much as my current rep wants to downplay the fact that he's done things that have signaled to the Republican administration that he is on board, right, or that he won't push back, that is the problem. You can't just downplay. You did capitulate. You did things that allowed them to think they could get away with stuff, and now they're doing things that are putting a lot of people's lives at risk. My name's Kyle Galkin. I'm running for Congress in the 2nd District of Connecticut. Please go to my website, kyle.com. You can sign up to donate. You can sign up to vote.
And these Edomites don't understand this is the end of their kingdom, and the elites are pulling the strings on this. This thing's going down. You know for a fact the elites are behind the scenes pulling the strings for this to happen. But they still want to bring them Georgia's guidestones to pass as well, man, where it says the population will be shrunk down to, I think it's 500,000. So this is something that we have to continually warn our people, man. This is not just something that we just be saying just for the hell of it, man. It's all biblical prophecy, because they've been putting an alarm out there that the sleeper cells have been activated. So who's to say if that happens over here, then they do something over here. Happens over there, and then they turn around and do something over here. I misspoke. So we seeing that this thing might pan out this way.
We have some scary news coming out of the Iran war right now. The most holy city in Shiite Islam is a city called Qom. This is where all the Ayatollahs go to school for years and years. Now, that entire city, with hundreds of thousands of people, has had leaflets dropped over the entire city by Israel, telling them that they must immediately evacuate the entire city up to 17 kilometers away. Why would they be doing this unless they intend to do something with massive devastation? Now, the United States just moved the Doomsday Plan into the Middle East, and that plane is set so that the United States president can issue nuclear launch codes to nuclear submarines in order for them to do some sort of an attack. The suspicion is that because the Fordo very hardened site, which is where they do a lot of their nuclear enrichment, which is buried under a mountain near the city of Qom, is going to be attacked with not a bunker buster, which was the traditional way that you would attack something like that, but because it is so hardened that they are considering using a tactical nuclear weapon. This is an absolutely insane thing to have to report. The United States and Israel could very well be getting ready to nuke Iran.
So a lot of information coming out. It is basically I wanted to bring these videos pretty much confirming that this is on the minds of these Edomites, man, for them to bring in a exchange that will cause the world pretty much to be in fear into worship the image of the beast and taking his mark. So this is not meant to be taken lightly, like, oh, that won't happen. Because we know that the destruction of Babylon the Great is not going to come without the MOTB being implemented. That's not going to happen. So it's not saying that they won't do a limited attack to make everybody in fear and to get in line to take this MOTB. So the devil is crafty, man.
Donald Trump called up CBS an hour ago saying that he was going to pull out of Iran. This is not a surrender. Donald Trump is going to drop a nuclear bomb on Iran. This is what's coming. Donald Trump is about to start World War III by dropping a nuclear bomb on Iran. He's making it look like they're pulling out, but what he's doing is he's getting the American military out of the way before he drops the nuclear bomb on Iran. This is what's coming. There will be nuclear bombs dropped on Iran within the next 4 to 5 days. Mark my words. It's a countdown. God loves you. I love you.
And that's why I showed you them troops, because what he said that they was be moving them out of the way for them to bring on this attack, because they're still gonna go boots on the ground. They're still gonna do that. There's still gonna be a draft and all of that. But it's something that they're building up to bring in an event and then do the boots on the ground, because the economy is pretty much crashed. It's collapsed, and they are holding on to it for the next thing or the next event. And that's what we getting ahead of the game and showing you that don't be shocked if they do a limited attack to get the world behind taking the MOTB. That's not far-fetched. Credible sources are saying this.
So just exactly what could totally destabilize the Islamic Republic of Iran? And what could that major surprise be? Well, I'm here to tell you that major surprise is in the air, on the Doomsday Bomber, flying out of England's green and pleasant land. They are going to drop what they say is a tactical nuclear bomb on the Fordo mountain, which houses the enriched uranium that have not been able to be accessed since the 12-day war. And they're going to send 300 kilograms of highly enriched uranium into the atmosphere. That will cause all the predictable fallout, flash, and nuclear winter across Iran that is evident from anyone who knows anything about nuclear weapons. But guess what? Nuclear fallout, nuclear radiation doesn't know borders. It doesn't read maps. And so what will happen is that the deserts of Arabia will become just that. The fallout, the physical fallout, I'll turn to the political fallout in a minute, the physical fallout of a nuclear bomb dropped by an American airplane, just like the one that they dropped on Japan twice in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, is about to fall on Iran. The devastation will be very considerable. The impact will be considerable. Many thousands of people will die immediately, but over a generation or 2 generations. The impact will be felt across the world, but it will be felt first and foremost in the Arab satrapies who have given Donald Trump and his family so many diamonds and pearls. The impact politically, however, will be even more explosive. Russia will, at that point, in my opinion, Nobody told me this, but I've worked it out from multiple conversations in China and in Russia. Russia will take Iran under its nuclear umbrella, meaning that any further use of nuclear weapons on Iran will be treated as a nuclear attack on Russia. Then we really, really, really will be on the brink of World War III.
And see, I was just thinking, if they was to do that, then other nations wouldn't feel bad about sending their weapons when it really gets hot. When the Russians and the Chinese really, take sides with Iran. It's like right now, Iran doesn't need any help from the Persian. The Persians don't need any help from China or Russia, or North Korea, or none of those nations, because they're pretty much handling it by themselves. But if this was to happen, an exchange, a limited exchange, and then a ceasefire, and then they started back up, then the Russians, the Chinese, and North Korea, and then other nations are going to back Iran. And even his allies, Babylon's allies, would turn on him as well. That makes a lot of sense, because they're going to feel like they're going to have to put Babylon down, man. In all the scriptures we know about, with Revelation 9, Jeremiah 50, 51, all those nations shooting those missiles and turning on Babylon the Great makes a lot of sense now. That their own Revelation 17, that their own allies would turn on them for doing this. They call it a rogue nation. That's what they would, obviously say that the small hats in Babylon is. They don't work under international law. They're not abiding by any rules. They're on their own. And for this to happen, man, it makes a whole lot of sense that they would shoot their missiles over here, man, just like biblical prophecy said would happen. But we know that if they do this, it's gonna cause a ceasefire, bring in the MOTB, and then the fight. Then they will go in and try to pretty much send the troops in to finish it up. In other words, and it makes so much sense that those troops have to go back over there to fight against the Lord when He returns. So, man, we living in beautiful times, man, because a lot of chips are on the table, man. And now check this out.
I have absolutely no doubt that the United States and/or Israel, or in a joint operation, are going to utilize a tactical nuke. And to paint the picture of that, this isn't the days of World War II, where you saw the Enola Gay dropping this bomb and flying away. And I mean, nuclear weapons, especially tactical nuclear weapons, have become much more advanced. The problem with that is that because really, when you look at it, Israel and the United States are running out of options. We are running out of missiles. When we run out of interceptor missiles and we have no defense, we're going to start losing aircraft carriers. We're going to start losing destroyers. We're going to start losing more service members in the region. All of our bases have been rendered inoperable, but we still have people there that are shuttered, hiding under bunkers. And when there's no more defense, when the THAADs and the Patriots and all systems are down, it is open season, and Iran will have the absolute upper hand in this. And when you consider that, the United States, Israel, won't have any options left. It's like going into a gunfight with not enough ammunition, but your opponent still has bullets. Well, now you got to either retreat and run away, or you got to start throwing grenades. So in this gunfight, Trump ain't going to retreat, so we're going to start throwing grenades. And so the only option we have in that is the tactical nuke. And here's what I'll say. Last week, off the coast of California, the United States fired full capable, one of its Minuteman III Doomsday ICBMs, nuclear-equipped intercontinental ballistic missile from California to the Marshall Islands. Fired it, tested it, and made a big deal about it. Simultaneously, this aircraft that you saw that took off recently, that is the 4 Echo Doomsday plane, but what's also another critical component in that aircraft is what really concerns me is the Echo 4 Charlie Night Watch plane. That plane is the command and control component to where if there's nuclear war and if strategic targets are hit, this aircraft through AI with pre-programmed targets can then execute the mission, call it like a dead switch, but it's in a plane. So we not only have this giant nuclear capable 4 Bravo or 4 Echo Doomsday plane, we also have the 4 Charlie Night Watch, which is the complementary command and control aircraft with that bomb loaded aircraft. So that's what's really concerning. We have not just taken the cover off the old car in the garage. We've filled it up with gas. We've started it up to run, and now that's all that's left is to drive away. And I feel that this administration, especially under the influence of Netanyahu, will utilize a tactical nuclear bomb in the coming days. I fear that greatly, and I think it will happen.
And see, the small hats got a, I forgot how they worded it, but it's the Samson option. And they basically feel if they're losing, they're going to use nukes to get them out of their situation or whatever. But the thing is, they have ran out of ammunition to shoot down the ballistic missiles and drones that the Persians are sending over there and destroying their land. So, like he was saying, that they would probably try to destroy those missile, they call them missile cities that the Persians have. So not to to make it a light thing, man. It's just gonna get really really bad, man. Because as also the Straits of Hormuz is being closed, you're not gonna be able to get any goods, and they're gonna want people to be locked in their houses, man. So man, we living in those times, man. The Lord is gonna bring great judgment, and for those that's still on the fence, man, your time is running short, man. And that's just to put it lightly. And this is let's hit a couple scriptures, man. I'm gonna end it, man. This is Proverbs 11 and verse 5. It says, "The righteousness of the perfect shall direct his way," and that's what Lord willing we be out of harm's way, because they, like I said, they got sleeper cells that are activated, and all these things might happen very soon, man. Not saying that it ain't gonna happen at all. A lot of people think, well, that's just one thing they saying on the news. No, man. The Lord has things set up perfect for the perfect timing for these things to happen, man. So we want to be out of harm's way, the hopeful elect, man. It says, "The righteousness of the perfect shall direct his way, but the wicked shall fall by his own wickedness." And we're seeing Esau getting ready to fall with his own wickedness. It says, "The righteousness of the upright shall deliver them, but the transgressors shall be taken in their own naughtiness. When the wicked man dieth, his expectation shall perish." See, everything this NWO, what you call it, when he wants to, depopulate all this madness that he wants to do in the earth, it's going to perish with him. All these ideas that he wants to do behind the scenes is going to perish with him, man. It says, "When the wicked man dieth, his expectations perish, and the hope of the unjust man perish. The unjust men perish." So we know that this man is set up to perish, man. So the Lord is giving us this wisdom and understanding at the end of the world to escape the wrath of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. Because the wicked man is going to perish. This is Proverbs 28, just hit the point of verse 5. It says, "Evil man understand not judgment." See, Esau think he can do whatever he wants to do in the earth, and he's not going to be punished, man. And that's what the men of the Lord is prophesying to our people. Esau is going to be punished, man. You have to repent and return to the Lord, because this man he's doomed to be punished, man. Evil men understand not judgment, but they that seek Yahweh Bashem Yahushua understand all things. So we got a clear understanding of everything now, man. Starting with the apostles and elders, we have a clear understanding of everything. Nothing is hid from us. The Lord has blessed us to understand the times we're in. You got Jake Simple. Jake still want to go and have a vacation, man. When you ain't got no gas and soon not have any gas in your gas stations, man. So man, 2/3 of our people are set to be judged, man. And we just trying to wake up the rest of the elect that can hear and understand this wisdom, not as understanding of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. It's the time to repent to the Lord, man. Esau is on borrowed time, and you are also. This is Proverbs 29, in verse 15, it says, the rod and reproof giveth wisdom. And that's what the Lord has done. He's given us judgment and chastise us so we can understand, man. This is the way to go, man. So we blessed to get the chastisement of the Lord, man, because if we didn't, we'll be out just like the 2/3, man, not having a clue what's going on and what's going to happen for not repenting. It says, but the child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame. And that's Esau. He's been left to himself, man. Great Britain had birthed him, and he's been left to himself. And that's why he's going to bring his mother shame. And let's just go on a low level, too. You know what I'm saying? These little low-level Edomites is thinking they're getting away with shit, man. The Lord is against them just as well as he against the elite, man. So these little low-level Edomites is not getting away with nothing. They're going to be judged just like the elite. It says, when the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth, but the righteous shall see their fall. See, the righteous are going to see their fall. And Lord willing, we're beamed up into those chariots to see the destruction of his kingdom. But we're seeing his fall now, man, in 4K, man. It's not hid from us. We're seeing this man being set up to be judged before the world, man. And his own eyes are seeing this judgment. That's why you have these Edomites against each other, man. They see that their day and their time is running short, man. This is Job 21, in verse 17. It says, how oft is the candle of the wicked put out? How oft cometh their destruction upon them? Power distributeth sorrow in his anger. See, the Lord distributeth sorrow in his anger. They are as the stubble before the wind, and as chaff that the storm carrieth away. Power layeth up their iniquity for his children. He rewarded him, and he shall know it. See, he rewarded them, and he shall know it. So they are their fathers coming back, and they're seeing that their time is over. The Lord is finna judge them for everything they've done in the earth, man. From their fathers into them now. It says, his eyes shall see his destruction, and he shall drink of the wrath of the Almighty. See, Esau's finna drink of the wrath of the Almighty, but he's seeing his destruction. His dollar's on the verge of crashing, and then the Lord is gonna smack the joystick out of his hand, man. So he think he's in control and he's able to do these rituals and do all this wickedness in the earth, and he's getting away with it. But the Lord is soon to smack, like I said, smack that joystick out of his hand. Because his world is coming to an end, man. His world is over. This is Psalms 11 in verse 5. It says, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua trieth the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth. See, this man is plotting a violent thing, man, putting people in mass death, man. Because he knows who the sleeper cells, all this is propaganda, man. They know all of this, man. They got too much technology to not know who is who. They got too much technology. They know how many people they let in. They know where they at. They know all of that, man. There's nothing hid from him, man. We read about that in Daniel, man. Nothing hid from him. So he wants to put this out here so to make it seem like the Persians did it when he go over there and strike them. And then they have a false flag here, and mass death comes here to Babylon the Great. So it's not hid from our eyes, man. This man wants to judge thousands upon thousands of people at one time, man. The scripture tell you in mass, what is it, Revelations, not Revelation, second address. I might have to get that. But he wants to put people, he wants to take people off the earth in a large number, man. It says, upon the wicked, he shall rain snares, see, traps, fire and brimstone. And that's what's coming to him, man. For what he's trying to do in the earth, it's a punishment coming to the wicked just for what he's trying to do in the earth, man. It says, upon the wicked, he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and an horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of the cup of their cup. See, it shall be the portion of their cup. For all the wickedness they have done in the earth, the Lord is going to judge them with a great judgment. That's going to be the intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. For the righteous Yahweh Bashem Yahushua loveth righteousness. His countenance doeth behold the upright. See, the upright is the hope for the elect, man. See, what we're doing is preaching and prophesying His word for our people repent, return to the Lord, and the Lord is looking upon us with favor. NLT, Psalms 11:6, it says, He will rain down blazing coals, burning sulfur on the wicked, punishing them with scorching winds. And that's the besom of destruction, man. That thermonuclear wind. NLT. He sends down blazing coals and burning sulfur on the wicked. He punishes them with scorching winds. And see, you're not going to be able to get out of the destruction that is going to come upon Esau, man. He's not going to get away with it, man. He's not going to get out of this, man. I'm just looking at these other precepts. But I ain't going to make it long, man. I just hit a couple of them. But we see it. We see it coming, man. It's something major like that happens, man. That would take the world by storm, man. Just like it did when was it Nagasaki and Hiroshima? It took the world by storm, man. Everybody was fearful after that. That's how Esau really gained so much influence in the world after that, because all the nations were afraid of him because they thought he would use it again. He got a lot of influence from that, man. All the nations were terrified of him because he was the only nation and the only people to ever do this in the earth, man. This is Psalms 12 and verse 1. It says, Psalm of David. It says, "Help Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, for the godly man ceaseth, for the faithful felleth from among the children of men. They speak vanity, every one with his neighbor, with flattering lips and with a double heart do they speak." And that's DT. Don't he get on there and contradict himself every time he speaks? He has one of his members in his cabinet. They'll come out and say something. He'll come and say something different. So that everything they speak is vanity, man. He says, verse 2 again, it says, they speak vanity, everyone with his neighbor. With flattering lips and with a double heart do they speak. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua shall cut off all flattering lips. And that's plain, man. So this man speaking lies, planning on doing great slaughter in the earth, the Lord is going to cut him off. He says, and the tongue that speaketh proud things. And bang, we got clear examples of someone speaking proud things. It says, who have said, with our tongue we will prevail. And that's what he's thinking, man. He even thinks he's going to prevail over Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. But he's thinking that he can control these nations and bring them into his beast system. He says, we have said with our tongue, we will we prevail? Our lips are our own. Who is the Lord over us? So he's saying boastfully, this is what Esau says boastfully, that this is our mouth. We can speak how we want to speak, and we're going to do what we want to do. And that's how he has always spoken in the earth, especially over the children of Israel. But he's speaking against everyone proudly. That he asked 3 times for a ceasefire with the Persians, and they said no every time because they don't trust him. But he's already said, "Oh, we devastated this, we devastated that, we doing this, we can do that," and not even having the humbleness to even say, "Well, this is not going the way we thought it was going to go. We need to regroup." And they don't. He continue to speak like we control everything. We won. NLT. They say we will lie to our heart's content. Our lips are our own. Who can stop us? Plain, man. Who can stop us? You don't think that the Chinese can stop them? You don't think the Russians can stop them? You don't think Turkey can stop them? North Korea? He doesn't think that way. We have the power. It's in our hands. GNT, it says, with our words, we get what we want. See, with our words, we get what we want. And what DT said, we're gonna choose their next ruler. I'm gonna choose their next ruler. You see what we did to Venezuela? We got her in office. She's doing real good. With our words, we get what we want. We will say what we wish, and no one can stop us. See, to the point they think the Lord can't stop them, man. No one can stop us, and that's the pride of Esau, man. When we hit this Proverbs 10 and 19, it says, "When words are many, sins is unavoidable. But he who restrains his lips is wise," and that's the elect. We know what to say and what not to say because the Spirit of the Lord is with us, man. We know what to say and what not to say because the words that you say can also bring judgment upon you, man. There's plenty of scriptures that go into that, man. But this is the point I want to make in this lesson, man. Revelation 13. Get it in King James because this all ties in together. This is Revelation 13. I'm going to start at verse 11. It says, "And I beheld another beast come up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb." And that beast is the extension of the Roman Empire, which is America. And those two horns symbolizing the Democrats and the Republicans. And because they wage small skirmishes against each other to make it seem like they're separate entities, but they're all one. It says, "And he spake as a dragon, and he exercised all the power of the first beast," which is the Roman Empire, and they exercised all the way it was set up, the way they controlled and dictate their war tactics, because it was back in they had when the Roman Empire was in power, they had military might, and they had iron. They was able to maneuver with iron, and it was crushing their opponents and their enemies by the new weaponry had, because no one had the power that they had, and they was able to rule and fight with the new material, which was iron, man. And that's how they was able to get a foothold in these nations and conquer them. Continuing on, verse 12, it says, "And he exercised the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed." And that's just like I said, speaking of Rome, and it's coming. It was healed was the this empire here. It's an extension of it. It's when they came back in rulership after the Renaissance period. It says, "And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven." See, he doeth great wonders as he makes fire come down from heaven. And that was in Nagasaki, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. And this is what they plan on doing with these tactical nukes, if they was to use them, because the tactical nukes is just like the power. I think it's equivalent to the power they had of those bombs they had when they dropped the bomb in Japan, man. Like it's these tactical nukes is still the equivalent of that power that was used in Nagasaki and Hiroshima, man. So like I said, I'm going into that, but you know what I'm saying. If they was to use it and knock out these missile cities, because they have no defense against them. They don't have no defense against the drones and these missiles that they have. And they said they got thousands of missile cities, they call them, under these mountains that's over there in Persia. So them to use a tactical nuke to knock out their missiles, it wouldn't be far-fetched for that to happen. But let me continue on. This is verse 13. It says, "And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men." See, in the sight of men. So he's able to do this when he was able to do it and knock out the Japanese, which is Ammon. People was shocked. They was terrified of Babylon the Great, man. Look what they did. They made missiles come down from heaven and destroyed all these people, man. They said the people shadows were still on the ground, man, from the light of those nukes. And they already calling for the Persians to get out of that area. So, man, for them to be able to boast with this great pride and to use these weapons, the other nations are not going to be terrified to use them on them. And that's going to be the judgment of the Lord, man. We just read that. Verse 14, it says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles. See, the technology, the missiles and shit that they have. It's going to be amazing to see the miracles that will happen just for the destruction that will come behind them using these missiles. He says, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. See, he had power to do in the sight of the beast. And this man is going to show you that he has no fear of the Lord, man. Saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound of a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and that's the MOTB, which that's what's being set up. This tactical nuke hidden will cause everyone to fear, and then they will easily join to this man's beast system. And I'm speaking of the people and the nations, because they will be in fear. It says, end of 14, it says that he should make an image to the beast, which had the wound of a wound by a sword, and did live, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the beast should be killed. See, he's going to have power to say, if they, like I said, if they do one over there, and then they turn around and do one in Babylon the Great, they're going to say that if you don't take the MOTB, you're going to have to be killed, because you got to be a T. Because everybody else everybody else took it. So and they and you didn't. So this is what's going to happen through the Spirit, man. They're going to do a false flag to bring in the MOTB, and I can't say exactly how it's going to happen, but these scenarios, man, ain't too far fetched for it to happen that way. So I'm in it there. Lord willing was edifying. Shalom. Shalom.